there in Watchland, I'm JD and welcome to my channel. So today we're going to look at this beautiful Hamilton watch. It's given to me by a fellow Canadian. So he has said that the lower jewel on the balance is cracked. So I wound this thing up to have a look at it, and it looks like it's running fairly well. So let me just turn this around really quick and let's have a look at it. I'm going to open up the back. This is a beautiful Hamilton watch, and it's got a bar over crown case here. This is what you call a BOC, bar over crown case. Gorgeous watch. And this is a Hamilton 992 movement, which is a railroad grade movement. Likely adjusted to 5 positions. I should have a look at that and tell you, right? So adjusted to 5 positions. Yes, it is. So anyway, beautiful watch. It seems like it's working really well. So he wanted me to have a look at it. He said he replaced the mainspring barrel on it, did some work on it, but he said the jewel on the balance, the lower jewel there, is cracked. So I'm going to have a look at that lower jewel under me microscope and see just how cracked this thing is. So I'm hoping that it is in fact cracked, because he shipped it here at cost and he'd ship it back at cost, so there better be some cracking going on in there. So anyway, it's running very well right now. I'm going to measure the amplitude of the watch and have a look at how well it's doing. Alright, I'm going to stop this for a second. So as you can see, we've got a rate of plus 18 seconds per day, which is pretty good. You could probably get that a little closer to 0. Amplitude is excellent at 310. The beat error is not that great, 1.31, but it's not awful because you've got such a strong amplitude here. So in general, it's not that bad. So the watch is actually running pretty strong. So it's going to be interesting to see what the problem is when I strip this down and see if the lower jewel is in fact correct. Alright, in case you're wondering, I've got my really good glasses on here. On the bottom here, I've got ×3 on the bottom as a small lens, and then I've got my regular lens here, which would be probably 1.2 on the top for reading. And same on this side, except the only difference is on this side I got myself an airy lens. Like, this is an airy lens. So let me show it to you underneath here before I start. Just move this out of the way here and have a look underneath. So this is it here. So this is a loop that attaches to your glasses. Highly recommended. This loop is excellent. The friction is just right, so you can flip this thing up and look from a distance here, work on the big screws on the pocket watch and whatever. If you want to get in close, you flip this down, away you go. So that's an airy loop. For you folks that have seen this, I think you can get them. Esslinger has them. Make sure you get the large size, not the small size, for your glasses. And there's the product right there. So this one here, I believe, was a large size. So I just thought I'd add that. I'm looking pretty white right now. The color, I'm looking really white, so way too white. Anyway, that's let me just take that off a little bit. There we go. I need to change my camera. Anyway, that's the airy loop. It's it's actually necessary. I used to have these cheap loops. I used to use one of these, which is, I guess, okay to jam in your eye, but falls out sometimes. And I had the flip over loop here, which flipped over, and they're not that expensive, but still not high quality, so I decided to go for the Cadillac solution. So I just thought I'd add that to the video. Alright, here's the watch here, and I noticed I put this next to my ear, and when you turn this sideways just a bit, you can hear some scraping or something going on with probably the pivot we were talking about, right? So that's not a good thing. I need to take the power down on this watch. And so what we do here is we just grab the winding mechanism here that I wound up earlier, and then take a piece of pegwood and then push the click mechanism back as you walk it back with your hand. So I'm just very carefully walking this back, keeping friction on the crown as I do it, because I don't want it to just snap back, because it could detach the mainspring from the arbor in the barrel. So just walk it back like this, nice and easy. It spun a little bit there, but still I caught it with my hand. You just test that. Okay, it's still good. And I think we're down near the end here. Let me just leave the click back in here, take a rest, come back, and then grab this again and push this back here. I'm using the pegwood just because you can't mar the watch with pegwood. So I'm walking this back some more. It's almost all the way back right now. So there we go. And you let go of the crown, and you can see the balance just kind of come to rest. So what I'm going to do is take the balance out, and then I'm going to I'm just going to remove the balance, and then I'm going to put the movement into my Myers number 58 movement holder, the world's best movement holder, by the way. And from there we will have a look at the lower jewel, because I can look at the lower jewel initially without taking the face off the watch is what I want to do. So I can loosen these screws here ever so carefully. And there's one, and when you loosen the screw you can hear it go click, because you're moving it against the thread, right? And take the screws and put them away from your work. If you don't do that, you're going to end up losing screws, and that is not a good thing. It's a pain. I did some watch work on an automatic watch this weekend, and it was a battery operated quartz watch, and the problem was interesting. It was the watch actually had, let me just put the case back on, I'll flip this over here. The watch actually had a battery had gone bad on it previously, and because of that, I'm going to set this to 12 o'clock noon. That way I can rest this on my fingers. I'm going to get a glove out here to help me here. Alright, back to my story. I got a glove on now. Anyway, what happened was the watch, this should fall out this way. Let me take this off here. The watch was just move this back just a bit here. Need some room, man. Need some room. And these bar over crown movements, you basically pull them out like that without a problem. Keeping my hands away from keeping my hands away from the hands, and I'll make sure the hands, when I put this in the movement holder, fit in the center of the movement holder, so I'm not putting any undue stress on the hands, and just lightly move it down on the face like that. You know what? I'm a really anal retentive guy, so I don't want the face to have any issues. I wonder if this will help. There we go. Look at that, nice and comfy in there. I just didn't want the face to be rubbing against the metal here. And I have to take off the ring here, so I should just be able to get a screwdriver in there and then pop that ring off, because there's a dust ring right around the watch. I'm going to have to get up close for this. Anyway, the movement I was working on, the quartz movement, the battery went on it, and this, you know, that green crap that batteries kind of let off? Well, this thing had some green crap that let off and got inside the upper plate and started to interfere with the actual operation of the watch. which isn't a good thing. So gotta get in close here, folks. It started to affect the operation of the watch. You can see it's been played with before. There we go. Taking off the dust cover right now. So you just stick the your screwdriver in here and turn, and very carefully rotate it. I'm being super anal retentive this time with this cloth. Probably going to get in my way after. There we go. I think that I heard it snap out of the way. There it is. Move that out of the way. Anyway, so there was a plate in the center of this automatic or quartz watch, and a particle of this battery crap got under the plate and caused the plate to cause the gears that are under the plate to get jammed up and stop. So I was wondering, why is this watch stopping at exactly the same time every time? Well, when a watch stops at exactly the same time, it's usually a gear that's the problem. So it's the old 9 times out of 10 it's a gear. So it's just hold this down. This is so it doesn't rock when you're unscrewing the screw from the balance, or sorry, when you're unscrewing the balance cock, the screw here. You don't want it to rock, so I put that in the little bucket on my amazing balance holding device. Usually on these watches there's a small notch in the back here that you can use to get it up, to make it rise to the occasion. I can't see one on this one, so I'm just going to go right on the edge with a very small screwdriver, get in nice and close. I need to look at this closely. Yeah, I think I can just raise it up. So I just try to nudge it just a bit before I raise it up. So it's a and let's see if I can. There we go. And they just kind of let go when you do that. And then pick this up here very carefully. This always scares me, this part. I don't know why, but it does. And then what I do is rock this out of the way. And this should come right out. There we go. Come on. Trying to get it to free itself from the edge. I don't want to use the spring too much to do this. There we go. And I'm going to rest it down here. And the value behind my little holder here is that, as you can see, the balance is resting nicely on this little pad here and out of the way. So I'm going to move this out of the way now. And now all I need to do is check this center jewel. So the gentleman I'm doing the work for said that this jewel here is cracked. So I'm going to have a look at this in the stereo microscope to see if it's true and what kind of crack that is and if there's an issue there. So I'll be back in a second. Alright, this is my stereo microscope here. It's a very nice microscope. Run you about $2,000 used. So, and there's an LED light right here, and this helps with getting in close, and it's a ×70, and you adjust the focus this way, and you adjust the zoom with this knob here. There's one on either side, so you're adjusting the zoom here. So that's the stereo microscope. So what I do is bring this movement over, right? And I want to look down on this jewel to see if this crack is of any significance. So, and if it is, then we're going to see if we can replace that jewel, which means I've got to take the watch check. I'm still wearing that beautiful Hamilton watch I got as a gift. But I'm going to zoom in on this and have a look at this jewel. And holy shit, is it ever cracked? I think we need a picture of this one because it looks like Star Trek. So the guy was right. it's got a major crack on it. So that would completely wear out the pivot. So I'm going to flip over and see if I can get a picture of that through my what is it called? Anyway, my camera that I can stick into my thingamajobby doohickey thingy. Alright, here's my setup here. It's hard to explain, but I've got my iPhone here, and I've got this rig that actually holds the iPhone in place, and I'm able to take a photo of the of this jewel. Just press the button, and there's my picture, and I get a nice picture of the cracked jewel. And I can fine-tune this here, but I've got it zoomed in pretty close, but I can zoom it in super close. Let me see if I can move this around here a little. I think that's probably about as close as I can get it, and then move this into place like that. And this is just showing a shredded jewel. So let me just move that out a bit. And there it is there, and I'll take a picture of that. And that's showing a shredded jewel. So I'm going to show you what this looks like now on the phone. Let me just back it out here a bit so you can see the overall picture. Right, so back this right out here, and then move the movement into place. Sort of center it, and there's the jewel, and it's pretty darn cracked. Take another picture, and this thing is cracked into a million pieces. So this is the setup. There you go. You can sort of see it at an angle here, the jewel. I got this really nice thing. My desk is pretty messy. I apologize right now, but I can swing this around because I got it on a pivot. So I can just swing that over, and there's my Zevia, and it just goes like that. So let me just show you what that cracked jewel looks like. Alright, there's the photo of the cracked jewel. As you can see, it's really cracked, so that's not good. And there's another picture of it at a different angle. I'll just try to get a little bit more light on there somehow. And so this thing is shredded, man. I'm not sure how the watch is working. And there's a great picture. You can see the palette fork on the bottom here, and you can see the jewel here is cracked in the middle. So it turns out that I do need to do work on this. I'm surprised this watch ran so well with this jewel being in such bad shape. So it was a major crack on that jewel. So that's that. So close this down, and I wanted to show you, this is the rig that I use to attach to the stereo microscope. Just bring this up here a bit and then focus it. That's good enough for now. And so yeah, this piece goes in over the lens part, and then your iPhone goes right here, and you take the photo, and it keeps it nicely aligned, which is nice. So that's that. So now we're going to disassemble this watch, and I'm going to make this part 1 just to let the gentleman know that I'm at it. But this is part 1. It's 5:10 right now. I don't want to start working on something like this at this late at night. It's pretty early, I guess, but I had a hard day at the office, so I don't want to be disassembling watches when I'm tired. But maybe I can just take the watch apart a bit, because all I need to do is get access to the face. So let me get back here. Alright, so I moved the balance out of the way because I did not want the balance to be in the way of the work. So what I need to do now is remove the face off the watch. Shouldn't be that difficult, but first I've got to remove the hands to get at the face. So let's just flip this baby around. I think I can use my Myers movement holder in this position here. Like so. And I just need to very carefully remove the hands from the watch. So with my Binford 3000 hand removers, I got brand new hand removers here that are pretty high end. I just have to find the other one. It's a choice between one of 2 different types of hand removers. And before I move the major hands here, I think I'll take off the second hand from this watch. Throw a piece of plastic on to protect the watch. I'm going to use these hand maneuvers, the hand removers to take off the second hand, because I care about the second hand. The second hand is my friend. And today I'm going to actually get a brand new piece of Rodico, because this warrants new Rodico. This job warrants new Rodico. This is weird. I put this down in the tray and it looked like static electricity made it fly or something. And it did. Weird. Weird. And I'm going to do the same here. I have a choice between these hand removers and these hand removers. These ones are bigger, but I'm not really sure if they're better. They're just bigger. I think these ones are good for 18s. This is a size 16 watch. I'm going to use these ones here. Straight up and at 'em. And this is to prevent the face of the watch from being scratched at all. So let me just very carefully grab these hands. And I'm going to put them on the side of the tray. Yeah, this is amazing. I'm amazed at this, the jewel, how destroyed this thing was. Oh my God. Oh my God. As David Letterman used to say. Oh my God. That jewel was totally trashed, as you saw in the photo. I wish I could have gotten the camera picture, but I forgot where I put my camera for the stereo microscope. So there you go. Sometimes people forget stuff, don't they? And just lift this up. Should be able to come right up here. And now all I have to do is find the screws for the face and remove the face screws. And one right, is this one here? I think this is one right here. Everything looks so much bigger when you're using your loop. And I don't want to lose the screws, so I usually just loosen them and then tighten them back up again so I don't lose them. Although I have like 3,000 screws. These ones are pretty loose. So the gentleman who, Max I'll call him, who sent the watch to me and said, is there any chance you can replace that lower jewel? And I was like, reluctant to do it because I got so much crap on the bench right now. I was like, when am I going to have time to do other things? So very carefully moving this out of the way here. I actually don't like to have gloves on when I do this, because I usually use my fingernails. And today I cut my nails down, and now I don't have my fingernails to do this work. This sucks. Just keep moving it around, loosening it up. I was watching this guy do Clockwork, as in Clockwork Orange, the movie. And he was patient as heck when he was trying to put those gears back into the clock. I was like, oh my God, I would have killed somebody by now. He was super patient. I was so impressed. All right, one more. I keep moving one, and then the other one comes out. That's why if you have the glove off, you can use the skin on the edge, right, to raise this up. I don't want to harm the feet. The feet, it will defeat the purpose. There, this should come up now. Come on. I cut my thumbnail too, which was supposed to make life easier. There we go. There's the face. I'm just going to put this on my mat. And to prevent losing things, there's a dial washer on there, which is good. I could have replaced the dial washer, but no need. Flip my lens up on my Airy lens and take this gear out here. This is a minute gear. And I'm taking those gears out because I will lose them if I don't. So if I look at what this watch, so that's the jewel right there, right? And if I flip this over like so, it's the jewel right here. So that's the jewel I need to remove. I can rest that down. I think I should get my nice little cozy cushion out. What do you think? Yeah, let's get the cozy cushion. Be right back. All right, the movement is now on my Bergeron 5395-75-N. The cozy cushion, as I call it. This is gel filled. Gel filled. So there's no way this can hurt anything. So again, got to make sure I take the right one out. The correct one needs to be removed. So let's have another look again. And it's this one here, which means it's this one right here. So these would be the banking pins, the other side of the banking pins, and then this is where the pallet fork is, and then this would be the escapement. Yep, that's the escapement right there. So this is the one I need to remove. So let me just get deep and dirty again here and see if I can loosen these screws. And my cozy cushion here. There's screw number 1. The other thing I like to do is to make sure there's a witness mark on this jewel setting. And all you need to do, it looks like there's one right there. And that's so you know the left and right of the jewel setting. So it's a tiny little mark you put there. There we go. And then I know that there's a little gap here on the that's not the setting, that's the cap jewel for it, but I know how it goes in then. I'm not concerned about which direction I need to put this in. And put that in there. There's a lot of static electricity in that tray. I cleaned it with toilet paper and it caused static electricity. So I put the screw down and the friggin' thing runs. So I need to discharge my tray, which is like crazy. Who discharges a tray? My God. It's not magnetic, it's static electricity. It's like when your hair stands up. So this, I usually get in here with a couple of screwdrivers and small screwdrivers and see if I can take this off nice and easy. Doesn't always work, folks. Doesn't always work. Sometimes these things are on really good. If they're on super good, I have to cut away and do this. I'm not sure how tight this is on. I don't know, I'm slipping a bit here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut away and get this thing off because I'll be farting with it for a few minutes. So I use technique 2, and technique 2 is let's see, what's this screw doing here? It's not good. Whenever you get a bonus screw somewhere, oh, this is off the movement here. So technique 2 is I couldn't get it off from that side, so you take a stake from your staking set and you just push straight down. So what you have to worry about though is make sure you're out of the way of the pallet fork, because you can bend that pallet fork by doing this if you don't do it carefully. So you just get out of the way of the pallet fork and push it straight down. And so now I have the jewel. I have the I'm going to separate the two because I've got the setting, I've got the cap jewel, and I've got the jewel both here. Pretty sure I have both. Yeah, there we go. There it is. So there's the jewel and there's the cap jewel. I can clean that up nicely too, but I've marked it so that right here on the edge is the top and it's aligned with the other one that I have. So this one here, I have to look at how to replace this. If I've got a setting already like this, I'm going to use that setting and just reassemble it. If I don't, it's very possible that I've got to push that jewel out and make another one. But the first thing I want to do is measure the hole size, see if I can get something in there that gives me an indication of the hole size. It's probably 0.09 millimeters or so. So that's it for the video today. I don't want to do any more of this stuff while I'm not completely fresh. Never work on watches unless you're all there, right, as they say. So I'm going to put that screw back though, because I don't want to lose it. And that's this screw right here. So this would go right here, my friends. Right in like that, and then screw that down. You don't have to screw it all the way in, just make sure it's screwed a bit. And there's the movement. And so now all I really need to do is either find a jewel that's like this, or make one or something. So it's a jewel in a setting, so I'm hoping I can find the jewel in a setting. But that is one cracked up jewel. Maybe I can get another picture of that. See the screw just moving all the way around? I static electricized this friggin' tray. Which is kind of stupid, but I don't want the screws to jump out of the tray because of static electricity, do I? See, it can go bow like that. It's crazy. Crazy, I tell you. And I can just set the movement down in the middle. I think we're good but just putting that down. I'm going to take a piece of paper here maybe and set it down, but I'm going to take the jewel setting out for a second. And is that the setting there? It's the setting there. The cracked setting. I just put that aside, make sure I don't grab that with my arm and take it for a walk, because that would piss me off. I'll just throw this on top like this, and then throw this on top like this, and I've got the ring that's on the side. I think it's okay on the side, just barely touching there. And then the plate, I'll leave that out because that's part of the case, and the case can go over on the side here. And I'll put the case under wraps. I've got the balances underneath the tray. I think I'm going to get another tray out too, because I want another tray. Oh, there's another tray. So I got more trays than Jesus. So there's another tray. And tray needs cleaning, so let me grab another tray, see if this one's better. Yeah, that's a nicer tray. I gotta clean that tray. It's tray nice, as they say. So this tray here, I can put the balance in. I should focus stuff here so you guys can see what I'm up to. There we go. I'm just going to rest the balance in this tray here, kind of like that. So it's okay. And I think I'll just grab the ring, because people give me shit for leaning the ring against the thingamajiggy doohickey jobby doo. So, and I'm going to leave the case out. This is the case here, but I'm going to just put this aside. And I've got little tiny covers for that, so I just want to make sure everything is properly trayed up. It's tray nice. And this is trayed too. And move this out of the way, and then we'll have a look and see if I can show you a better picture of that crazy cracked jewel. And do you think one of these jewels will fit? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I have tons and tons of jewels. The trick here is to get a jewel with a setting. I have lots of those too, so it's going to be a hunt. But I ain't doing it tonight. I'm just going to show you a close-up of the jewel. Alright, that's about as good a close-up as I can get for now. But as you can see, that's the jewel there. And you can see on the other side, where I'm not going to point to it, but on the other, well, maybe I will. On the other side, right, get a piece of pegwood here. Right there, you can see the cracks. Oh my God. So there's the cracks on the setting. It's a pretty thin little setting here. Very thin setting. So I've got to see if I can find that. The important part here in replacing the setting is actually the end shake. So if the setting I replace it with isn't exactly the same dimension, then I'm going to have a problem with the end shake. So it's very tricky to replace it properly. So I do need to find the right setting if I can. I am able to make settings, but this would be a very tricky one to make because it's so damn small. So I don't know if I've ever made a setting for an escapement before on my lathe, but I'll fix it somehow. I'll get it going somehow. So there you go. That, my friends, is the Kraken of the Julin. So, and it's pretty friggin' crackened. That's it. Next video, I'm hoping to have the jewel found.